Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today we're going to talk about pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training, which is just the best thing in the world. Also, college baseball starts today, so I'm really excited because there is a full slate of games and action and things for me to watch. Hawaii even plays today, and they play at home, which means their first pitch is at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, which is just it's fantastic because game one, first pitch 11 a.m., last first pitch midnight, everything in between. It's fantastic. College baseball. If for those of you who don't watch college baseball, it's one of the best, it's most upcoming sports in college sports, I think personally, just solely based off the fact of all of the TV time and everything like that that they're getting. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. It's great. I played it for 5 seasons. It's got a deep spot in my heart, and college baseball opening day being today just makes it that much better. And so I'm truly excited for that. Anyways, pitchers and catchers reported this week, and the remainder of the team will end up reporting next week, or maybe it might be today. It might be today. But pitchers and catchers did report, and there was a numerous amount of statements from different separate players and coaches and things of that nature, and kind of just coming back and kind of reflecting on what they saw last season and kind of reflecting on what they've seen this season so far. So Kevin Cash comes out and says they were incredibly accountable of not performing. None of us, myself included, not performing to the way that we wanted or the way we were capable of. And I think there's a lot of motivation to turn that around. Why not get here a little earlier? Cash said after Thursday's workout. So you can kind of see, granted, that is the manager speaking. So he's gonna say everything that everybody wants to hear, and which is it's not a bad thing at all. But I do think that him coming out and kind of accepting the accountability that he didn't perform well, that the players know that they didn't perform well, and that people are coming for early workouts and things of that nature, it's just a good sign. And as well, he also came to say that due to the past couple seasons with the hurricanes and things of that nature, they haven't had a full spring training in Port Charlotte in years. They've been misplaced, displaced somewhere. They didn't even get to play their season last year in Tropicana Field. It's this he said he comes out to say that this is the first season that he can remember in forever that they've had a full they're going to have a full spring training hopefully at the spring training complex, which is good. And I think that just a kind of that sense of normalcy and the sense of repetition and regulation is great for the players kind of bouncing all over the place and being from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, practicing and stuff like that. It gets a little tiring and it's a little more strenuous on the body and things of that nature. So having that little bit of repetition and regulation kind of in your training process, it'll go miles to being able to help this team as much as it's possible to do. And then Johnny DeLuca comes out and says that the energy in the clubhouse is infectious. He says, I'm already in the weight room. Guys like Kevin Kiermaier, he's suited up, he's got his pants on. Seeing guys like that, we had the career who had the career he had, and being able to pick his brain, the excitement, a guy who's not even playing, it puts a fire under you and like, hey, let's go do this thing. So seeing guys like that, especially with Kiermaier only being here for the past week, just already having that infectious energy, that infectious work ethic that kind of comes along with that, and guys like that, believe it or not, for those of you that really weren't like heavily into the sports world, it's not even the most of the time, it's not even players that give out that infectious energy. It's coaches and training staff and things of that nature who people enjoy getting up every day and going to the field to work with those guys and hang out with those guys and kind of just build relationships and bonds with those guys. Those are the people that make clubhouses better. If every player hates their head coach or hates their hitting coach, there's going to be a separation somewhere. And granted, a lot of people say that the clubhouse being the players, there's a separation there. But if there's a joint cause and a joint love for somebody and people in that clubhouse, everybody's going to kind of come together as one anyways. And I think that having Kiermaier kind of in there, along with Corey Dickerson, just two fan favorites. People love them, players love them. It's going to be great for this team. And I think that just having those people to look back on, especially with Kiermaier's knowledge and ability to play the outfield, and I guarantee you he could go play 85 games in center field right now at a high level. I think he knows he can do that, and I think everybody else knows he can do that. So just him being able to kind of just transition all this over to the younger generation and the younger players in the system like Simpson and DeLuca and Melton, I think it's gonna be astronomically huge for this team, especially that outfield room to have a guy like that. And then Dickerson being that guy you see when you get on first base and just being around the clubhouse, assisting with hitting and things of that nature. It's just great. I think that this these additions are the biggest in the offseason, in my opinion. Granted, the players got to go out and play, but I think that from a coaching structure and from just that standpoint, I think the addition of Kiermaier and Dickerson kind of just prove that this new ownership group is really excited and is going to go do kind of whatever they need to do, especially once the stadium's over with. I think that the money for the roster's seriously going to go up, and I'm kind of really excited to see where they go with that. But then Pepio comes out and says, there were a lot of things that happened that were worse than the roof of our stadium being blown off. People were displaced from their homes, their livelihoods were ripped apart, but we were able to stay in the area and give the fans something to enjoy. Fell short on our goals from last year, but coming home, it's exciting to come home and start everything on the right foot this year. So him coming out and saying that, it's kind of what I was alluding to earlier with they haven't had a full spring training in one spot. It's just being able to players were displaced from their homes, fans were displaced from their homes. You had to live in a rental property, you had to do this, you had to do that. It's tough. And myself living in the panhandle of Florida, I've been through hurricanes, Category 5 Hurricane Michael in 2018. I was out of school for 2 months. I didn't personally have to move out of my house, but all of my friends had to move 20, 30 miles away from their house in the opposite direction just to live in a rental for 2, 3, 4 months just because their houses were getting fixed. So imagine doing all of that and having to perform for 162 games in a baseball season. It's impossible just to be able to manage all of that, dealing with your family, dealing with all your kids, everything like that, and having to perform at a high level. It's extremely difficult. And yes, some people are going to say, "Well, these guys are pro athletes." It doesn't matter. They're people, and being able to deal with this stuff is extremely difficult. And I couldn't imagine having to also do that and then perform at the strenuous high level job that I have. That if I strike out more than I get on base, I'm going to get fired. It's hard. And if I walk more people than and I give up a lot of runs, I'm going to get fired. And it's difficult. And I think that him just kind of making that statement and showing that people know what they're doing and that people kind of look towards the Rays for their enjoyment and that they feel sorry that they came up with short of their goals. I think that's kind of got a lot of fire in the clubhouse, and I think it's going to allow people to kind of bond together over some of these things and kind of become the best version of the Tampa Bay Rays that I think is possible. But you guys let me know what you guys think about some of these opening statements as well as what your original thoughts are on spring training getting underway and games begin next week. But you guys have a great one.